you're about to see is disturbing.
So it looks like there's another
Heroism or vigilantism? The video shows 3 strap hangers subduing the 30-year-old man after witness Juan Alberto Vasquez says he got on the northbound F train and began acting aggressively, threatening riders. Law enforcement sources with knowledge of the case confirm his account, saying according to a witness, the man began shouting, quote, "I want food. I'm not taking no for an answer. I'm ready to go back to jail, and I'll hurt anyone on this train."
The man got on the subway car and began to say a somewhat aggressive speech, saying that he was hungry, he was thirsty, and he didn't care about anything. He didn't care about going to jail, that he didn't care that he gets a big life sentence, and it doesn't matter if he died.
Vasquez says he was scared and believes others on the train were too. That's when he says a 24-year-old rider came up behind the man and put him in a chokehold.
Okay, so this is
a newsreel from NBC4 from New York City, and apparently there was an erratic, crazy guy on the subway threatening other passengers. And this guy, who, what I understand, was a former Marine, put the guy in a chokehold to kind of calm him down and try to de-escalate the situation.
Holding him there on the ground. 2 other men standing over them also helped subdue the man.
If there was fear, the people who were bluish, or who were there, where he separated everything, moved from their place. I stayed sitting in my place because it was a little further away. But obviously those moments, well, one thinks fear, one thinks he may be armed.
He says that chokehold lasted about 15 minutes, even with the train stopped at one point at the Broadway Lafayette station and the doors open.
Well, most of the people left. If they open the door, the train separates and it leaves. Almost all the people just stayed. The ones who were there on the floor fighting, a couple who was standing in front of them stayed.
Vasquez says no one thought the man would die, even after he went limp. EMS arrived and performed CPR, but he could not be revived.
I think no one thought that he was in a risky situation because he was defending himself all the time. All the time he moved. He tried to remove his arm, and then when they had it on his side, he kept kicking. So we thought that he's defending himself.
The 24-year-old who delivered the chokehold was questioned and released by police. He is not facing any charges.
okay. So I feel
Like, this guy tried to intervene, and everyone else, again, you see a crazy, erratic person on the subway many times. I haven't been in New York in years, so I don't really know what it's like now. And normally, I think all these crazy people, they say stuff, but I don't know, how rarely does it really come to violence? And you can use physical force to defend yourself within the law, but again, I don't know how New York law works. But in general, if you have a reasonable reason that there will be
physical harm done to others.
or yourself, then I think, yeah, you do have a right to defend yourself. However, looks like he put this guy in a chokehold for longer than he should have been. Maybe he wasn't
That well
trained in what he knew, or maybe he was also scared and he did it too much. But unfortunately, the guy is dead now.
At this point, the medical examiner has yet to determine a cause of death. Former NYPD Chief of Department Terry Monahan.
The way the detectives have to look at this case is what would a reasonable person do and what would a reasonable person be expected to do.
Now, the district attorney's office will ultimately determine.
So when it comes to this, I'm actually really conflicted. Yeah, there we go. So I'm really conflicted about what should happen here. I think maybe the guy should be let off because he was trying to defend the other passengers, and the guy was threatening the other passengers, and he had the intention to not kill but to hold him down. However, he might have inadvertently killed him. Again, the cause of death is not known yet, but if there is a charge, and again, I'm not a lawyer, maybe manslaughter would be the most appropriate. But again, I'm kind of on the side of the guy who actually subdued the suspect, and he also had a criminal past, and it looked like maybe he was going to be violent. and you can't really see so well from the video because you only see after the fact. So anyways, if any of you guys have any other ideas of what happened or can elaborate more, please comment below. If you like my content, you like what you like, please like and subscribe.